Hey everyone, it's your friendly Exmuslim here. Have you ever seen people that are kind of have your cake and eat it too type of Muslims? Muslims that are like, Islam is perfect, but look at all these problems I have. I have an example of a Muslim woman she claims she's married in medicine, and she's seen all sorts of issues that Muslim women have because of Islam, but in her view, not because of Islam, because of Muslim men. She's trying to say that Islam is perfect, but it's Muslim men that are the problem. Let's take a look. Let's see what she has to say, and I'll tell you what I think about it. Let's get into it. I'm your friendly ex-Muslim, and here we have Sarah. Sarah is saying, I've seen women suffer from health conditions due to their husband's infidelity. She has a right to kindness and respect, and not only did he disregard her, but he actively caused her pain. Are women worth so little to Muslim men that they cannot even recognize their pain? The original tweet here says, Dagan, whatever, is asking, Asim al-Hakim, if a woman becomes extremely upset when she finds out her husband married another woman behind her back and without her knowing, is the husband sinful as he hurt her mentally? Does he need to repent? Okay. Asim al-Hakim, Sheikh Asim, says, no, he is not sinful as he did not do anything sinful. She is always hurt like this, even if he visits his mother's house or buys something for himself or even goes to see his friends without seeking her permission first. Wow, not only does he not know these people, he's immediately assuming that this is not a reason for her to be upset, or even if she is upset, I guess the point is, who cares, right? She's always upset, right? That's what he's saying. He's always upset. She's always upset. Just do what you want, right? And Sarah here is quite upset about this. Now, the interesting thing is that apparently a lot of people are calling her feminist, and she's getting upset about it, right? Well, let's read a little bit more. Oh, here we go. I'm sick and tired of asking these hypocrites to consider us as humans. So she's saying these hypocrites is Muslim men. Don't consider them as human. Why have they become so accustomed to disrespecting women? When Islam teaches them to prioritize and respect us. Wow. These liars cause significant harm, so why are they allowed to spread such nonsense? I don't know what she wants to ban him from Twitter or something. She wants to deplatform Sheikh Asim al-Hakim. I don't want to hear about feminism when mainstream teachings are encouraging men to disrespect, dishonor, and inflict harm onto us. Women are human, and if you hurt them, they will break. And after you break her, you don't get to blame her for your sin. This is just wild. This is so wild. She directly contradicted herself. She says, why have they become so accustomed to disrespecting women when Islam teaches them to prioritize and respect us? And then she's saying mainstream teachings are encouraging men to disrespect, dishonor, and inflict harm onto us. What is going on here with this Muslim woman? What is going on with Muslim women that want to keep saying Islam is perfect? How do you help women like this that clearly she seems to understand the mainstream teachings of Islam encourage men to disrespect, dishonor, and inflict harm on women? What does she mean by that? What she means is that, according to many scholars, you do not need permission from the wife in order to get a second wife, or a third wife, or a fourth wife, or to have concubines. You don't need permission from your wife, right? You're the man. So Islam doesn't value marriage the same way that some other religions do that don't allow polygamy. For example, in Christianity, it's one man, one woman, right? Which is actually better for the woman. In this case, not only can she only get one husband, not only can she get a husband that's Muslim, no Christian, no Jew, he can marry a Muslim woman, Christian woman, Jewish woman, and up to 4 women in total, right? It's considered this is a good thing for Muslim women, but how is it a good thing when, 1, you can go behind her back and marry someone, 2, you don't have to tell her. So basically adultery, but Islamic adultery, right? Basically, if you're Shia, you can do muta, which is temporary marriage. So you can have like a relationship with a woman for like a weekend, right? If you're a Muslim man, you can do what's called misyar marriage. I have a video on misyar marriage, which is different from muta marriage. Misyar marriage is basically it's like a marriage where there's no marriage benefits to the woman, right? So that you're basically married to her. It's not temporary. There's no like end time to it, but like she's just like your hookup girl or something, right? And some modern Muslims do use this as a way to get around the rigidity of Islamic marriage, but it's also used to take advantage of vulnerable women because they're not even getting, never mind being treated equally. They don't get any rights at all in that situation. I have a whole video on misyar marriage. If you want to watch it, I'm going to link it up there. And, this Christian fellow or lady said, time to consider a new religion maybe. A bit hard to oppose polygamy and worship a polygamous prophet. And then she said, the Bible states that all spouses are equal before God and should have equal dignity and rights, and marriage is an institution of mutual submission and sacrifice. Says like, laugh my ass off. You're joking, right? Islam is perfect, even if men are not. So there is basically, let's dig into this a little bit more because it gets more interesting. This person says polygamy is fine. It's just a bit confusion about equal rights. I don't believe in polygamy, but I don't get it. What kind of equal rights? Obviously, if he's going for a second wife, she'll be younger, whatever, good in bed, over enthusiastic. How can you compare? Now she's giving the standard party line. He has to provide full support, protection, and finances to both women equally. And because men cannot even treat the hands equally, what the hell? And they prefer the right over the left. What does that even mean? Is she talking about like masturbation or something? It is not permissible for the vast majority of men. They're told to remain with one. So interestingly, the whole thing about misyar marriage debunks her right there, because in misyar marriage, which is pretty much across the board, the majority of scholars, almost every single scholar says misyar marriage is allowed because Muhammad, while he was married to to Sauda, he made a special deal with her, and Allah allowed him that he was not going to divorce her, but she doesn't get a night with him. So scholars are like, well, if this was permissible, that if one of your wives, you want to make a deal with them that they give up their rights, and what do they get? Nothing, right? It's a good deal. Allah's very fair and just, and even his prophet is very fair and just, that he made this amazing deal for Sauda. I mean, he's supposed to be treating them all fairly, but apparently according to the Quran, he's the most perfect man. So maybe I just don't understand, but this doesn't seem fair at all. Anyways, so Sauda got this amazing deal where she doesn't get divorced. I mean, what an amazing deal. So all she gets is basically sustenance or maintenance. She doesn't even get a husband anymore. He doesn't want to sleep with her. He wants to sleep with Aisha. And in return, nothing. But supposedly he's supposed to treat them free. Because of this example that happened in Islamic history, Muslim scholars say that you can do the same deal before marriage. You can say, well, I'm going to marry you, but you don't get anything. You don't get a house. You don't get to live with me. I'm not even going to spend money on you. Even though in Islamic marriage, the man's supposed to spend on the woman in exchange for sex, basically. What does she get? She just gets to sleep with him once in a while and some companionship once in a while. And some Muslim women are so desperate because if you see my other video, it's so hard for divorced and basically single moms in the Muslim community and widows to get married again because they're seen as used goods, much more so than to non-Muslims.
A lot of times us as the women in the relationship of this divorce, we're right away being questioned about, hey, well, why wouldn't you consider being a second, third wife? Like if we're used goods, like if we're only good enough to be a second or third wife. And not that there's anything wrong with that, right? Like I said, I'm not anti-polygamy if that's what both parties choose, all three, all four, all five parties, right? But to automatically assume that because we are single mothers, that's what we should go with, as if we're not deserving to just be the only wife. I think that's something that is just, to me, it seems very just unique to the Muslim experience.
Well, because we also allow polygamy, that might be
right.
why.
Exactly.
And because of this obsession about virgins and virginity. So they're stuck, and so they take these shitty deals, right? And like even my current wife, like someone propositioned to her for a monsieur marriage because he wanted this secret wife, right? And imagine what a shitty, horrible deal that is, right? How awful that is to tell a woman this. And that video with Zaid Omar I made, which I'll link as well.
I was contacted yesterday. I got a DM on my Instagram by a pretty well-known dawah. So this brother starts to explain that as a young man in his late 20s, he is struggling with protecting himself. He then goes on to tell me that he is looking for a virgin. Very clearly stated he is looking for his traditional virgin wife. However, he is struggling to find someone that his family, are happy with and whatnot. So he said that he has had the idea of getting a temporary wife, a single mum, to satisfy his needs in the meantime, just until he finds his virgin wife. This brother then proceeded to let me know what the terms of this marriage would be. This would not be a traditional marriage. It would be a secret marriage. His family will not know. Nobody will know about her.
It's exactly what he offered this single Muslim woman. He's like, well, I'm not going to tell anyone about you. It's going to be a secret. We're not going to have a walima. Like, we're not going to celebrate it. All we're going to do is I'm just going to basically halal hookup, right? And of course, she was pissed. She's like, WTF, like, what the fuck? Like, why you think I'm going to accept like a shitty deal like that? And Muslim men, they just go around like offering, like saying this as if it's normal. And the irony is that she's like deluded here. Like, does she not see that there is no gender equality in Islam? Women don't get rights like men do, right? Like, I like this comment, right? Islam is perfect, but I disagree with every mainstream Islamic scholar's opinion. And it's not even polygamy itself that's the problem, because there is something called ethical non-monogamy, which is basically people that are not Muslim, obviously. They have relationships which are open relationships or whatever. And those ones, they're open, they're honest, and everyone knows what's going on. So I don't have a problem with that. But this, like, what the hell is this? Right? Like, sneaking behind her back, getting married, not even getting her consent to be in this situation. Basically, he's basically taking away half of her time. And that's not considered sinful. It doesn't matter if she's hurt. Some people say you can put in the marriage contract, you can't get a second wife. Well, some scholars will say that's not permissible because Allah, how can you make haram what Allah made halal? So what's the point of Islam for a woman, right? And what she's talking about here, right, is interesting. It's Takotsubo cardiomyopathy, also known as broken heart syndrome or stress-induced cardiomyopathy. It's a temporary heart condition often triggered by intense emotional or physical stress, right? So this is something that can happen when there's a huge amount of stress. And she's saying she's seeing women suffer from heart conditions, like literally seeing this, right? And notice she's calling it infidelity. She's saying this is cheating. She's admitting that Islamic second wife thing is cheating. It is cheating unless the first wife agrees to it. You're cheating on your first wife or whatever, second or third, whatever, how many wives you have, right? We see her not agreeing with the role of Muslim women in Islamic marriage. We're seeing her not being able to basically understand that Islam is bad for women, yet apparently Islam is perfect, even though men are not. The system is going to be the most important thing, because people will be people. And if your system encourages and incentivizes and rewards bad behavior, well, you're just screwed then. And that's what's happening to Muslim women over and over and over again, right? My current wife, said that, when she saw just how bad Islam is for women, she's like, I cannot in good conscience raise my daughter in this religion. Same with me. I would never want my daughter to be in this religion because it's awful for women. I don't want my sons to be in it either, but especially my daughter, like it's just god awful for women. It's not good at all. Anyhow, well, this is an example, Exhibit A, right? You can be a Muslim woman, you know, intelligent in medicine, right? I don't know if she's a nurse, a doctor, what she is. But this is how you get stuck in this religion and no one can help you. If it should be very clear to all of us, Islam is not good. It's not good for women. It's not good for anybody. If you're Muslim, you need to leave. You need to get out, right? The cognitive dissonance, it just gets worse and worse, right? And we see more and more Muslim women that are like actually vocally upset, and they now have the ability to go on social media to speak in front of others. Before, you know, they were hidden. But like, this isn't part of the Islamic teachings that women are supposed to be like going out and saying these things, right? And attacking Islam. But they don't want to admit the problems with Islam because, you know, that's what happens when you're born into a religion, or you get stuck, you're indoctrinated with it, right? It goes past your skepticism and defense mechanisms. But anyhow, that's all I have for today. If you like this video, do subscribe to the channel. Join now. If you'd like to join and support the channel, click on join now below to join on YouTube or on Patreon. Thanks for watching. This is your friendly ex-Muslim signing out.